All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, December 8th. We have just a 3-game NBA slate to dive into in today's video like we always do. I'm going to dive into each and every one of these games, so in this case, all 3. I'll break them down. I'll give you my prediction on the side. I'll give you my prediction on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we like within the game as well. But as always, guys, make sure to keep an eye down on the pinned comment of this video. That's where you'll find all of my final plays, so that I'm actually rolling with myself. If that does interest you, it's absolutely free down in the pinned comment. All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I tell you guys I'm a dummy all the time. They don't suck. They've just been sucking. Get them down to -3, 4 more juice than Jose Canseco in his prime. Tell me you're new without telling me you're new. So don't go jumping down my throat in the comments, right? If you want to fade me, or if you do want to ride me, this still leaves a bad taste in my mouth, right? And remember, more chins, more wins. In terms of yesterday, honestly, some good reads, bad results, but like I always tell you guys, there's no coulda, woulda, shouldas, or, you know, that was close in this industry. A 3-4 night there. Jalen Williams and Paul George, if they each hit one more 3, maybe, just maybe, things would have been a little bit better there, but nonetheless, a slightly losing night. We didn't have a ride of the day from yesterday, but guess what? It is a new week. It is time to jump on board with some of you fellas, guys. If you don't know what the ride of the day is, just use that hashtag ride of the day down in the comments with your favorite play of the day. I jump on board with at least one person's play each and every day. Give you a shout out in the next video, win or loss. If you do win, we continue to roll and ride with your plays. If you lose, I mean, you're still getting a shout out in the next video, but unfortunately, we're talking about a loss, and no one wants that. So get some bangers down in the comments. You guys have been absolutely crushing it with your ride of the day plays. Like, even when we don't select somebody, I see a lot of interaction, a lot of people riding with one another. Really cool stuff to see down in the comments. So let's keep that going. You guys are, honestly crushing it. I've been very, very impressed with the comment section in the last couple weeks or so. Not to say that we aren't always impressed with the comment section, but things have been a little bit different in the last couple weeks. But guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 1 here. Again, we got 3 games. Let's start it off with the Pacers taking on the Kings. Right now, Pacers 4-point favorites at home. I've seen 3.5s out there as well. Total sitting at 233.5. So the Pacers 4-6 in their last 10. They have won 3 of their last 5. 2 of those wins were against Chicago. 1 was against Washington. They got smoked by Cleveland, and they got smoked by Denver. Kind of makes sense in terms of the season they're having, right? 5-18 on the year, 9-14 against the number. At home, they're a little bit better, which they are today. 4 of their 5 wins have come at home. They're going up against Sacramento, who really has had a disappointing season. Obviously, injuries impact them. Sabonis looks like he's going to be out again here. Even Keegan Murray listed as questionable in this one. They're 3-7 over their last 10 games. They are coming off of what I would consider a pretty impressive win on the road against Miami a couple days ago. They won 127-111. That's a 16-point win. They were 8.5-point dogs. Now, in this spot, I do think both these teams are going to have an easy time scoring in the pick and roll. From the ball handler standpoint, definitely for, both teams, and then even from the roll man standpoint on the Sacramento side of things. Not that I think that this is an efficient offense wearing purple today or anything like that, but I do think that, the pick and roll is a way to get to this Indiana team in terms of effective field goal percentage in the pick and roll to the ball handler, dead last defensively, and then to the roll man, 19th in the league, right? So bottom half of the league, whereas in terms of frequency from the roll man, Sacramento Kings #1 team in the entire league and top 10 in terms of the ball handler in terms of frequency. So I like Sacramento to score that way. I'm going to lean towards Sacramento in this spot plus the 4 points. I think it's too many points, especially because this Pacers team at any moment can kind of just stick a pin in it, blow up. Like, they're really, really injured. Maybe it's not their fault, but I just don't see the defense coming through today. Now, that's not to say I think Sacramento's going to strap up and defend the crap out of Indiana. No. I still think Indiana can score. I already mentioned the pick and roll on the Indiana side of things, and realistically, you have Nembhard, Mathurin, Siakam. These guys can run and facilitate an offense to some degree. So I don't mind Indiana putting up some points as well. I'll lean over 233.5. When we look at a player prop, I am focused heavily on the pick and roll here. In terms of, a roll man on the King side of things, probably looking at Max Reynaud. His line right now is at 10.5. very, very low. I don't know if he'll have the usage or the field goal attempts, but I don't mind him scoring. I also don't mind taking a peek at someone like DeMar DeRozan, PRA, and points, rebounds, and assists. Yes, he's not exactly going to go to the pick and roll all the time, but I do expect some usage from him in this spot overall, and this is a Pacers team that does struggle in the mid-range. You can even see via our NBA dashboard. If you look at the Pacers, where they're probably weakest in the entire floor in the last 10 games, 53.1% to their opponents in the mid-range. DeMar DeRozan's middle name might as well be mid-range, you know what I'm saying? So I think this could be a good scoring day for him, but again, I don't mind him coming off some rolls, some screens, hitting the roll man or anything like that. So I don't mind his PRA. I think that he can get some rebounds and assists in this spot as well. Real quick, guys, Sleeper still offering that free $20 entry. You do not even need to deposit. That is what's so cool about this, guys. You can just sign up for Sleeper and boom, you get a free $20. If you saw a free $20 bill on the ground, are you picking it up and pocketing it? Or are you going to pick it up and be like, who's this belong to? Maybe you're a better person than me, but I'm picking that thing up and pocketing it, all right? You're also going to get a free square, and I believe they're also giving away a Jalen Hurts free square for Monday Night Football tonight. So a ton of goodies over on Sleeper. Use the link down in the description as well as the pinned comment, or just sign up using code GUYBOSTON to trigger that free $20 entry. They'll also match your first deposit. Like, does the pot get any sweeter? Any way you look at this, they are hooking you up. I've been loving Sleeper for years at this point. It's really, really tough to love something for years, and guess what? We love Sleeper, so go check them out, guys. Again, that link will be down below in the description, as well as the pinned comment. Let's move on to game number 2. Next up, we have Minnesota taking on Phoenix. Now, Phoenix still going to be without Kevin Durant. Wow. Devin Booker in this spot. Maybe my mind is elsewhere. That was crazy. Dylan Brooks also questionable in this spot. I think that that's going to be massive as well. Minnesota obviously being the better team. I don't think anyone's denying that. They've now won 5 straight games. Boston, San Antonio, Pelicans twice, Clippers. Not like they had I guess that's a mixed bag of competition, right? Because the Celtics have been playing really good basketball. Spurs, any given night, can be really good. But we did just see this matchup recently in Phoenix as, what were they? And they ended up being like 5.5 or something like that point dogs, right? Phoenix wins that one outright. Now, they were at home. I do think that that is very much worth noting. You also had Devin Booker in that game. He only had 16 points, but still does change things. I don't know if I want to say that, 9.5 points is too much for the Timberwolves to cover, but what I do feel comfortable saying is that this is a Timberwolves bounce back spot in theory of them bouncing back against a team that has already beat them, right? So I'm going to lean towards the Timberwolves. Again, I don't know if I love the idea of 9.5 points. That's just a big number, but without Devin Booker, I struggle to see exactly where this Suns team is going to produce a ton of offense, right? Now, they do have some guys that can put up numbers. Gillespie, I do think that he's actually a really good player prop look today for a points and assist standpoint. He hit that by far in that last game in November, so maybe that is a look. But outside of him, Grayson Allen, sure, he can hit some shots. Dylan Brooks, Royce O'Neal can hit some shots. Mark Williams, I don't necessarily mind, but I think Mark Williams with why do I keep saying Kevin Durant? Let's drop a womp womp and cleanse our sins. With Devin Booker, I do think Mark Williams is a different player, right? So I don't know if I love him in this spot, especially going up against Rudy Gobert. So I do struggle to see exactly where Phoenix's offense comes from. Again, kind of outside of Gillespie. Let's give me the Timberwolves. 9.5, a little strugglesome, but it is something that I'm considering here. That total at 227. Now, we haven't really talked about the Phoenix defense yet. I don't think that they're that bad. I really, really don't. But the problem is, from the three-point line, they haven't been all that great. And then in the paint, which is outside of the restricted area in the paint, so pretty much, foul line into the restricted area, they're allowing 51% to their opponents. That screams guys like, Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, Jaden McDaniels. The core of this team should be able to put up a good number. So I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, I like the under 227, right? No, because I think Minnesota may be able to put up a decent number today. What I'm going to consider instead is a Suns team total under. Now, right now, to get a decent enough line, you're looking at under 110.5. They've only stayed under this line 2 out of their last 10 games. Last time they played, they scored 114, so pretty damn close. But again, without Devin Booker, without the flow of the offense, It's kind of what I'm banking on here. But again, like, this is a team that may play with a decent amount of pace. And even if they don't have the quality, they could have the quantity. So keep an eye on the final plays to see what we ultimately end up rolling with in this one. All right, we got the Pelicans taking on the Spurs here. Now, this is obviously another game in which we have a big number, which, guys, truth be told, this isn't exactly the best of slates. You probably could figure that out yourself. 3 games, 2 of which are like double-digit spreads, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, this Pelicans squad, over their last 10 games, are 7-3 against the number. And part of that is because they're playing good teams. And I'm not necessarily saying without Wemby and whatnot, the Spurs are in that category, but they're getting large numbers. You look at their last few games, anytime they've gotten a double-digit spread, they've covered it. They're 4 or 5-0 in their last 5. Yeah, I guess so. 5-0 in their last 5 with double-digit spreads. That's against Denver. They covered that one, right? They did lose, but they lost by 7. They were 10.5-point dogs. Then they played the Golden State Warriors. They lost by 8. They were 10-point dogs. They played the Lakers. They lost by, I think it was like 12, but they were 15.5-point dogs. And then Minnesota, they played pretty tough, right? One of those games taking it to overtime. So I struggle to look at this Spurs team and say, hey, go out there and win by 11 points. So I'm going to sound the psycho alert alarm. I don't mind the Pelicans here from a covering 10.5-point standpoint. If you were to look me in the eyes and ask me, hey, do you think that the Pelicans can win this game? I'd be hard-pressed to say yes. I really don't think so. Even using our NBA dashboard, we could pop it up here on the screen. You could see that this is a Spurs squad that has been pretty good this year. Now, obviously, this is the season. That's Wembanyama included, right? But they're pretty good at stopping points in the paint and definitely in the restricted area. Well, New Orleans, the number 1 team in terms of restricted area, second to last in the above the break. That is how you get to San Antonio, hitting those above the break threes. So it is tough, again, to think that the Pelicans can pull this one out, but they're playing good against the number. So I'm going to lean towards them plus the 10.5 points. In terms of the total, we're going to need the Pelicans to hit some shots, but I don't mind the idea of that over 236.5. Does it pain me to look at a bottom 5 offensive efficiency team and say, hey, we're looking at an over for you? It does pain me big time. But this is a good Spurs team that can definitely run in transition, right? And the Pelicans stink in transition. So even though I like the Pelicans to keep this, that's just because they've been keeping games somewhat close, right? Even though I do like that, I still think the Spurs can control this game, and the Pelicans actually play with a faster pace. So I think the Spurs are going to be the better offense, maybe at home here, in which 69% of their games have gone over, the Pelicans. They up the tempo, and the Spurs just play good basketball, and we're looking at a big number here. Now, again, you do have the Pelicans involved in the 236.5 total. That is a little egregious, but, and it's a big but, I do want to note, when we look at this, both teams have looked pretty good. They're both, I think in terms of, what do we have in terms of the numbers? They're both in their last, 10 games. Yeah, Pelicans have gone over in 60% of their last 10 to this line, so 6 of their last 10, and in 4 straight at home. And then the Spurs here, 3 of their last 4 to this line went on the road. They've gone over. So, yeah, it's a big number, but I think it's doable from these two teams' standpoints. In terms of player props, and I should have mentioned this, Stephon Castle, I am tough with names today. It is very early. We're a little earlier than normal. He is questionable in this spot, so he may be coming back. Little boost to the Spurs. But in terms of player props, I don't mind the idea of someone like Trey Murphy or Sadiq Bey. I'm realistically targeting some of these guys that I can trust to take some jump shots. I talked about how you can get to the Spurs over the last 10 games, and it is hitting those threes. Trey Murphy's most likely going to be that guy that can be able to go out there and hit some threes. Now, in his last few games, I love the fact that it's 17 field goal attempts in 2 straight games, 21 the game before that. I like the idea of him having some volume. If we get that out of him, so on the season here, when he goes out there and shoots the ball, say 15 plus times, he's averaging 25 points per game this season. When he shoots the ball 17 times, he's averaging 28, and he's hit it in 6 of 7. So if he has the field goal attempts, I do like Trey Murphy in this spot. You can also look at him at over 2.5 threes, again, with the thought in mind of attempts, right? He's been shooting the ball a decent amount, so when we look at him and say he shoots the ball 6 times from deep, he's hit this in 11 of 18 games this year. When he shoots the ball 8 times from deep, which he's done plenty of times, 10 of 10 games. So I don't mind the idea of him going out there and hitting some threes. So keep an eye on the final plays. Trey Murphy, the third for 3, could be a decent enough look there. But guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's show. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. I do have a little monologue rant to go on here. So if you made it this far into the video, go ahead and comment rant. It lets me know that you're at least hopefully about to hear me out, because we've been getting, and if you guys are new to the channel, the haters we have on the channel we call guppies. We like to have fun with it. It's the internet, guys. Someone that doesn't know me, that types something in a keyboard warrior, isn't going to bother me. But we can still address some things, right? Because we had a horrible NFL day yesterday, and we can admit that. I posted on Instagram. If you want to see the instant reaction, Instagram, go check it out. EvPickz, EVPICKZ, picks with a Z. But essentially what I want to get to here is the idea that someone could come in and start commenting, and honestly commenting like lies is the only thing that I'm like, what are you doing, man? Come on. I can take the, dude, you stink, you're a loser, you're fat, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing, right? The one thing I don't like is when someone comes in and is like, I've been following this guy for years, or he stinks and all that. You're entitled to your opinion. I get that. Like, I'd never, like, we have a brand called Fade Me, right? I'm never going to sit here and tell you guys that I'm a pro or that I'm an expert or anything like that. We don't charge for picks. I never consider myself good enough to charge for picks. Even if I was, I probably wouldn't do it. I think it's corrupt business. But I don't really appreciate those lies and everything like that, because we do track our record. We recap every single day. You can go to GuyBostonSports.com/results to see all of the previous seasons and stuff like that. So I did just want to address that. Like, when we call these people out, and I guess that's the biggest point here, when I respond to someone being like, oh yeah, keep that energy and blah, 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 we get the comment like, hey, don't give them the time of day or anything like that. There is, if something truly is egregious or threatening or bothersome, you probably won't see me reply to it. So to any of the true supporters out there, right, that have been rocking me for a long time, just, I guess, rest assured, like, when I respond to something or when we do a short video and a guppy alert, it's because I think that we can jab and have fun, or I ultimately think I'm totally right and we can body bag this person, right? So I just wanted to throw that out there, because the only thing I don't like when I do respond to someone is people that actually have my back being like, come on, Ev, don't worry about him. Like, you got this. Don't show them the light. And it's like, well, now we're on 2 different pages, because I am giving this person, I guess, a spotlight in the comment section. But it's like, it's all in fun. Like, I recognize as a creator that this is the internet. Like, we're going to have hate. We're going to have the guppies. And that is okay. You know what I mean? So yeah, I guess that was a rant. I don't know how much sense that made. All right, guys, that's enough of a rant. We had a short slate. I figured I'd go on a little bit of a monologue kind of talking about it, because we've gotten a lot of hate lately. And yeah, sometimes we'll play around in the dirt. I don't mind the mud. And I just wanted to let the people that do really believe in me and believe in the channel and trust the channel and you know, our fans of the channel and whatnot, just let them know that even when we do go back and forth, like, this brain is still okay. We're not spiraling, which I can see how it can look like that sometimes. Maybe like right now. But guys, catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.